welcome to a brand new episode of the Woolly Thistle Shopcast. I'm your host Corinne. This is my co-host Maggie, and you are our product development manager extraordinaire. And we are this is episode 193, and we are raring to go. We have lots and lots to talk about, and I do want to mention that this episode starts a new thing where we are no longer doing ads on our channel going forward, so you'll be able to watch this ad free, and we hope that in return that you will shop with us once in a while, as the Woolly Thistle is supporting this channel. So that's a nice development. I think kind of excited about that. I don't like watching all the ads, and I think it's finally time to say no more, and we will sponsor this ourselves. Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
You know,
it's only been a week since
it's
we
only
did
been
this.
a week. I know. I was like, even this morning, my husband's like, "You're recording again today?"
I'm all confused. Yes.
We're recording again today.
So we hope you enjoyed that little
good.
bonus episode. I read in one of the comments that she didn't realize it was going to be so short, so she watched it twice.
Well,
Thank
how kind of you.
Loved it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It felt weird to kind of have an episode that was so short, but it was good.
It was great.
Yeah,
we enjoyed it.
This episode won't quite be as short because we have three wonderful segments for you today.
Yes.
Emma is joining us.
Lovely Emma.
She is just so energetic and
Full
bright
of
and
life.
happy in
Yes.
this segment. She's always bright and happy. But
And wait to see what she's wearing. When I watched it, I'm like, what is she wearing? I love that. So just watch and find out.
And Kelsey is joining us.
Yes.
She's got some sock mending.
Yes, she
for
does,
us.
and so that's really great. I enjoyed watching her darning, and also she talks about her Mungo sweater.
Yeah, and Kim is going to take us out with some knitting yoga today.
Yes, and that actually I think will be very good for everyone to do, and I think she calls it threading the spine, and it's all to do with your nerves, and
Nice.
I think we could all, use some spine care here and
Yes.
there. So she walks us through that. So yes, another full and delightful episode. And so we're glad you're here. We're glad to be here, and I think we should just get right into it. What do you say?
That sounds really good.
Should we announce the winner then?
Sure, we can start with a winner.
Yeah.
Our first winner is from episode 191, and Irene Mohan. Irene says, "I just love all the new gorgeous wool and all the inspiration. How wonderful to see Rachel and her happy hopping sheep."
Yes.
Irene, you have won a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle. If you can email us at info@thewoollythistle, put prize winner in all I got stuck. Put prize winner in all caps in the subject line. We will get you your $25 gift card.
Congratulations. And if you want to be in the running for a gift card prize, then all you need to do is leave us a comment below, give us a thumbs up below, and also subscribe to the channel. Everything is just down there. So do that and you'll be in the running.
Sounds
good.
Okay.
We've been doing this quite a while together now.
I know. I will say, update on Rachel, if you missed the last episode, her Patreon is set up and her Ko-Fi account is set up.
And her Adopt a Sheep. Oh my gosh, I mean, people are just, thank you so much. How proud are we of our customers and Woolly Thistle watchers. I think she's been rather blown away by the response, and it's lovely to have a part of helping her out. So yes, all of that is now set up. You can go to becroft.co.uk. We'll put it there. There is a little hyphen between B and Croft, but there you can find all the details. She'll be back with us next episode, I believe. And thank you so much. We just are so proud of you all for helping out. I did in fact adopt Barnacle. Is that the name? I'm sure that's Barnacle. Yeah, Barnacle. Cute little guy. I've got some of his yarn actually.
Yeah. Tiddlywink.
A tiddlywink. Perfect. And many of you have adopted sheep as well, and it was I had my cheeks were hurting from all the smiling reading the comments about who you're adopting and all of that. So thank you so much. I'm sure she will be full of thanks next time.
Yes. I do want to point out that because I think there may have been a little confusion at first, the way her Adopt a Sheep program works is that multiple people can adopt the same sheep.
That's right.
So
that's right.
So,
yeah, just to make that clear for sure. Yeah. So if you want to adopt Barnacle, we can be co-owners together. Barnacle will be
Co-supporters.
Co-supporters, yes. He'll be very, very, very well looked after. So, or Tiddlywinks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to pick. They're also adorable.
They are.
And honestly, just like many of you, I'm sure, just happy to sort of give a little help and support.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hard life, and we're so grateful that she shares it with us here and has done for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And I actually met Rachel when my mum lived on Farrell, and my mum and Rachel were neighbors. So, and I always remember that my son got a bit of straw or something in his eye when we were bailing.
Yeah.
And she was really, really kind to him, and got some ointment and stuff like that. So she's wonderful. She's a carer, and we are so happy to know you, Rachel, and also support you, all of us. I speak for the whole community here. So good for you. Good for you. All right. So what else?
Why don't we start with what you're wearing?
Oh, what I'm wearing. Oh, we start with what I'm wearing. So I am wearing the Lovage sweater, which is designed by Marie Wallin. It's been around forever. I think she designed it for Rowan Fine Tweed, something or other, a long time ago. Mine is knitted in Jameson and Smith, which I love. But, many of you know the story. I'm going to abbreviate the story, but this is the first version I made. What was I thinking?
I want to point out you were your current size.
Yes.
When you made this.
It's not that I lost a ton of weight, but oh my good God. I always think, well, it was all, squished up on the needles. And I had no problem knitting this much color work. Holy cow. Holy cow. So I think I want to make it into a little skirt or something.
It's going to be a short skirt.
Well, I might have to add on. But yeah, I love this. So as you can see, I had to go. And it didn't work, so I cut it. I cut it off, and so then I
talk about being a brave knitter.
I attached this, which I had knitted with this, but somehow I was able to. I think by the time I got down here, yes, without the sleeves, I did some decreases. So I did some fudging between here and here, but I ended. So you
wouldn't be able to tell.
I kitchenered it back together.
Right, but I mean, even that you went from that size down to what you're...
Well, I think it looks so big because of the sleeves are on here too, but when you actually get to the body, it's not so gigantic, but it was still too big. And I changed the colors, as you can see.
Yeah.
So I'm intimately familiar with the Lovage. Both of these, I think these are great colors, but I wanted them to be slightly more muted, so I took the opportunity.
It just didn't feel quite right for you.
Right. And I took the opportunity because I was knitting it again. Much of it is similar, like, the pinks there. I do love a pink. And yeah. So never be afraid. If you're not going to wear something and you don't want to give it away.
The blue was a bit bright, wasn't it?
The blue is really bright, yeah. Although I like this.
Yeah. But for the look that you were going
for what I wanted,
sweater.
yeah.
I know.
Cray. So anyway, I've kept this because I know it's meant to be something sometime, but
I think it's just a wonderful historic record.
It really is. It is.
It would almost be a shame if you did something with it.
Because it's so fun to go like this. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so don't be afraid if to screw up. There's always a way to work it out, even if it is just ripping back. And knitting again, and all knitting is good knitting, and this is where that saying comes from.
You learned a lot.
I learned an awful lot because also I took the opportunity. The sleeves cut in here, but I took the opportunity to make it up here.
Okay.
So I moved it up because what I found was it was too low, and every time I lifted my arms up, you saw my belly.
And all the fabric at the top.
That's right. It was like this.
Floppy
That's
thing.
Right. Yeah. So this
I remember
is
we were
better.
having a knit night and you kept having this thing there and you're like, what is this?
My belly's hanging out. Yeah, it was not good. Definitely not good. There was no way I could fudge it to wear it as it was. So yes, it kind of broke my heart a little bit, but on the other hand, I embraced it, and
you got to problem solving fairly quickly.
I did because I wanted to wear it. So yeah, so that's what I'm wearing today. A bit of history. What about you, Maggie?
I'm wearing my Throwover, which is an Andrea Mowry pattern. It's knit with Great Bay Wool Works and a combination of hand spun.
Yes. Love it. It's always so nice, and it fits you like a tee.
It does. It's really nice. And the pattern, you do the shaping underneath the
Uh-huh.
some short rows underneath.
Yeah.
And it does. It fits really nice.
So is that to push the neckline up?
Yep.
Yeah.
It goes up just a little bit in the back. It's very comfortable.
Good, good. It looks
Easy to
warm
wear
and
and-
comfy.
Yeah. New
Yeah.
Hampshire wool.
Yes. Do you have any whips with you today?
Well, I have an FO.
Oh, let's see that then.
So our Colorwork KAL did finish up on the previous Saturday, last Saturday, and I managed to finish my Caithness hat.
Oh, I love it.
I'm not going to put it on because it's really pretty. The crown is really nice.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I love all the speckle stitches.
Yeah. And it does need a good, like I did.
Have you
I gave
blocked
a
it?
I did block it, and I
Okay.
gave it a little stretch.
Yeah.
But nobody's really worn it. It is a little snug on me. It'll fit somebody.
It'll fit one of our models up there.
Yeah.
So what did you knit this with?
So I knit this with Rauma Fennel Garn.
Perfect.
I had it in my stash. The pattern is Caithness by Dianna Walla. It is in the Mill Rocky Heeds
Yes.
Kate Davies book.
You're all about Kate Davies right now.
I am.
Yeah.
Like it's
No, no, you're
it
in
is-
it up to your
it
neck.
is
Love
strong.
fest. It is strong.
It is strong. So yeah, I really like it. I
love
love
it.
the colors. I'm still pondering a vest at some point.
I think this would be so nice as a vest.
Yeah, even the colors, like
Yes.
probably a different stitch pattern.
I don't know.
but
I even love the stitch
I do.
pattern.
I really like it. So for the most part, this is Rauma Fennel Garn. The peachy color was some stashed woolly mammoth.
Okay.
Which
Really
is
good.
still- it is amazing how little you use.
Yeah.
Because the red, which obviously is most of this, I had a partial ball left over from my vanilla, and so now
That's
it's
the
half.
vanilla.
Yeah,
yarn?
I think that was
I
the
think
vanilla.
with the fluff,
the
then it
mohair,
changes it a little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the mohair is like a little kind of a tomatoey red,
Yeah.
so it brightens
Yeah.
it up just a little.
Right.
So that's done. My Caithness is done.
Good.
One FO I hadn't talked about in a while is actually up here.
Oh yeah, so cute.
This is another hat. I knit a sample here for the shop. This is called the Pyry Hat. Pyry or Pyry? It's Pyry.
Oh, that fabric feels
it's
good.
knit in TukuWool DK. And it is, yeah, if you want to put this one
Yeah.
on, this one's cute.
My glasses get in the way.
Oh, that's adorable. That is adorable. So we put kits together
Let's
for
see
this.
that
It's a lovely pattern that we got from TukuWool.
Yep.
And it uses one skein. So
Oh.
if you've been wanting to try TukuWool DK, I think
Yeah.
that this is a great.
This would be a great one, yes. And it's just a rib chook kind of thing. Is that what you
Yeah.
call it? A chook?
Yeah.
Chook? Yeah. Or
yeah.
turi.
And you've got the decreases here. They were really fun.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention during the setup row.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, it totally made sense and it was a lot of fun.
It's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Feels very cozy. It's not scratchy.
No.
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 And it's springy. It's got a lot of wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love
Yeah, so
it.
kind of pick your favorite color. I think we even give you the needles. The pattern recommended a tubular cast on, but I was too lazy to do that, and the results are
just
fine.
wonderful. Yeah.
So yeah.
Good.
So these are in the shop, but I really enjoyed knitting this. I learned about myself that I can knit 2x2 rib for miles.
Really.
Miles. Just
Miles,
happily
you just
picked it up
happy?
and kept on going.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah, you're probably in it fairly far by the time you're doing ribbing without thinking about it and not making mistakes,
Yeah.
right?
The thing that slowed me down actually was when I was done with the ribbing. I was like, oh, I'm done with the ribbing.
No more zoom.
I had to set it up, but
Yeah.
that was good. This was a fun knit.
Good.
It's so squishy.
It really is. It really, really is.
I
I don't have any FOs or whips with me today, although continue.
no, that's okay. I have some swatches, so I don't have any whips with me.
Well, I want to say that I did continue to knit the mittens, and I have ripped them out yet again because I'm
Okay.
just not happy with what I'm doing. So they will come. I'm still working on them, but I didn't bring them again because there's nothing new to show because I ripped back.
Yeah.
But I am getting happier with it. I'm just perfecting it now.
Sometimes
So
things take time.
they do, especially for me. So yeah, so I don't have an FO, but I have been knitting on those quite a long time now. So I'll get that done soon, and we'll let you know when they're ready.
Nice.
Yes. So what swatches
So
do
I
you
have swatches. So my oldest daughter has asked for a sweater.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna make her the
Miracles.
Building Blocks cardigan by Aimee Sher. You can put a picture there. It's a lovely basic cardigan. I really want to knit. You can do a short sleeve, almost like a vesty looking version for myself, but that's not what she wants. So I've swatched some Fivel.
Fivel. Ooh,
Fivel.
my goodness.
So this is
So Fivel is the new
color
yarn.
5. Yeah, so Fivel's the new worsted weight from Rauma, and the pattern calls for worsted weight. So I swatched. I got a little carried away with the size of my swatch.
It's got really nice stitch definition.
It really does.
And what size needle?
So a size 7 and an 8.
Okay.
And the size 7 is actually the gauge. So I actually got the recommended gauge. And I learned something about so you knit the cardigan flat, and my stitches are a little uneven.
Meaning what, on your purl row?
Like on my purl row, I think. I know I tend to snug on my, kind of pull the yarn to snug it up. But I've been knitting so many things in the round lately. Yeah. Like lately, probably the last year lately. Or I've been knitting garter flat. Yeah. And so I was a little surprised to see that's interesting.
Isn't it? So now you're going to have a whole project of working on your purl back. This is very lovely. Yeah, it feels really nice. Like, it felt nice in the skein, but it does fluff just a tiny bit. Mm-hmm. Did you wash this too?
I did. Yeah. I washed it and let it dry.
It's lovely. Really nice. Ooh, well, what a lucky daughter. Yeah, so when are you testing this on?
I don't know. I want to measure her cardigan that she likes how it fits so that I can aim. Especially the pattern gives you lots of flexibility and how you pick your size and ease and all that. So.
And that's such a good tip for anyone who doesn't know that already, that, you know, as well as having your body measurements, if you have a garment that fits you just the way you like, then you could knit it to the same measurements as that garment. Yeah. And that really does help you get to the right size for sure.
But she's away at school and she has her favorite cardigan with her.
Oh, right.
So I either have to mail her a tape measure, which is possible, and then we can FaceTime and do the measurements together so that I feel confident.
I think that's the way I go.
Yeah. So, and she'd be open to that. So, but she seemed excited. She saw me swatching the other night. We video chatted and she was like, oh, is that for my sweater? She's like, is that my sweater or are you just like sampling or whatever?
I love that your daughter's watching.
Well, no, like she wasn't watching us. We were FaceTiming and I was working on her swatch. She does not watch the Shopcast.
Hi, Chili. Oh,
that would be fun though, but no, she doesn't.
Okay, that's fine.
So that's the first swatch, and I've got one other swatch. This is not mine, so don't let me take that. And then I want to knit. Speaking of Kate Davies, I want to knit the Smookie sweater, which is from Sark. Yeah. It has textured stitches on the back and on the front. The smallest size recommended for that is 52 inches.
Why?
Because she recommends, I want to say 8 to 12 inches at least.
Oh, okay.
But that would still be very big for me.
Yeah.
So I'm a 34, so I'm like, I don't know. And that's knit in DK too. So, but I was going through Ravelry and looking at projects, and there's someone, Erica Flory. We can link her project in the show notes below, but she has knit the Smookie in a fingering weight yarn. Oh. And she got down to a gauge of 6.25 inches stitches per inch. And got a finished garment of 42 inches, and the fit on her looks amazing. That's exactly kind of what I'm going for. Okay. So I pulled out a cone of J&S and I swatched. Ooh. I didn't get gauge, but this was really useful for a few different reasons.
Tell us.
So I have this cone 54. I have a cone of 54. It feels really nice. Like, it felt really lightweight. Oh, wow. So I washed it. It floofed right up. Oh, gorgeous. But here's the thing. You can't see the twisted stitches at all. So I did like a sample of the twisted stitches. You can kind of see them there.
But that would be an awful lot of work
you'll do an awful lot of work to not see it. Yeah. So I think I guess I'm going to need to buy another cone. So I might do a little bit more sampling to make sure.
And another cone?
A lighter color.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because I think with a lighter color, then you're going to see all that stitch work.
I thought you were saying in J&S it wasn't going to work.
I think it still might work with J&S. So I want to let it be fully dry, which it is today. And I can recount the stitches and see where we're going. It was also hard to count because it's dark. Yes. And it was not the best light, and I don't have the best eyes anymore. So in the daylight, I will count my stitches and see.
But that is...
I like the fabric.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it really is.
It's really nice.
So you'll go with something lighter. And is this an all over? I haven't seen the photo.
So it is an all over. It's all... you got a panel of the twisted stitches on the front and on the back. Nice. So I'll have to have my thinking cap on. But,
yeah. That's okay, really though.
Pretty.
Yeah. No, that would be great.
So
Good.
It
Well,
was
let us know
useful
how you get on.
swatching.
Can I press you a little bit? You're not too worried about the actual texture just being too flat with the Jameson Smith?
I wasn't sure, which is why I added a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
I have some balls of lighter color JNS, so I'll play around with a little more swatching.
Definitely want to.
Yeah.
Can you bring them back and let us see? Yeah.
Because it is a 2-ply, so I would expect that you're not going to get the same pop.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. But you're right, with the lighter color, what you do get might just be enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Got a cone, you got to use it.
I got a cone.
Oh, you're getting another cone.
I mean, well, and I prefer to kind of, like, I have this cone of 54 because I love the color and I want to use it, but Kate's going to help me out because she's got a new book.
Oh
here,
my
so
gosh.
there's just so
Can
many
we talk about this new book?
Yes, let's talk about
We just got it. When
the
is
new
it going
book.
in the shop, Maggie?
It's going in the shop today, so it'll be live by the time you see this on Friday.
Yeah. It's so good we each have one. Look at
yes, and this one's going to come home with
colors.
me.
The colorful.
Yeah.
So, you know, Kate Davies, if you don't know Kate Davies, you need to know Kate Davies. She is from Northern England and has lived and worked out of Scotland for a long time. She lives down near Loch Lomond, which is, we used to go to Loch Lomond on Sundays as a family and hang out in Luss and different places. But anyway, she is a prolific designer of all the good stuff.
I'm just flashing.
I know. But she was also university professor when years ago she had a really bad stroke, which changed the course of her life. And as she worked her way back to health, knitting was very helpful to her. And there started the design and also research into the history of knitting or the history of the geographical locations that she sometimes writes about. So Kate Davies has a long-standing blog that is fascinating and really good to read. So if you don't know, make sure you start checking her out. And we're lucky enough to get her books here in the shop.
Yeah.
And this is her latest one.
Yeah.
I have to show you. I think this is lovely.
Which one?
This one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it is, I'm guessing it's steeped, or maybe she does it back and forth. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look. This literally just came in. It is steeped. It is steeped, but it's gorgeous. And what else I like about this particular book is that for the different color work options, she's giving you the charts in those colors. Yeah. So that might help you if you want to just not make any changes. Although her book does recommend her own yarn. And of course we have yarn subs here. I think Jamieson and Smith would be phenomenal. Jameson's would be great. What else? I think many of our rolls, Rauma, Fennel
we have a
Garn.
number of fingering weight wools.
Yeah, and then if she has anything in DK, I would go with something like TukuWool or Strict Garn. Ooh, Strict Garn would be fantastic. I love these. I love these.
Yeah.
Look at, I'm trying not to show you look at, I want that.
Yeah.
I want to knit that.
It's just amazing. I think that's the cool thing. Like we said, like you got one colorway here and in the same sweater, because it changes the look.
It changes. Yes, that's the same sweater we just showed you.
And then here it is in a more blue.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Blue. Get that. Get me. And I love these fingerless mitts, and she offers a bunch of different color work suggestions color suggestions.
Yeah. So this is the collection that was her recent club, and it. I'm excited to read through and hear her thoughts on color work. Yep. And
she's been a color work queen for such a long time. I knitted her, it's under there, but I knitted her cockatoo bray sweater. Oh, probably in 2015 or 2016 now.
That's in the Yolks book.
Yes, I love that book. I love that book. I love all her books. She's amazing.
That was the other thing I was actually thinking about. I'm like, I could do a cockatoo bray with the 54.
Yes.
And just do some really bright colors.
Yeah, that would be really, really. Oh, that would be.
I mean, with a cone of 54, I can make two.
You can make 2 or 3 or 4 probably, because you're just tiddlywinks. Yes, if I can knit a lot out of a cone, you certainly can.
Yeah. There's a lot of yardage.
So, is that all your knitting?
That is all my knitting. I don't have anything else.
I didn't bring anything either.
I'm still slowly working on my West Knit shawl, and I'm not going to bore you all with it.
Right. Well, that's how I feel about my mittens right this minute.
Yeah.
But we do have another KAL coming. Oh, and we should mention at the end of this episode, we'll have more photos from the Colorwork KAL. So stay tuned right to the end. You might see your project there. Caitlin's put some in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to see more, go to either our Ravelry group or our Facebook group.
Yes.
There's so many projects. We can't possibly highlight them all here.
That's right.
But they're all amazing.
That's right. Yes. And we had a really good KAL. I think everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Have winners been announced?
Winners will be announced by the time you see this episode. Winners will be announced. We were also going to put together that information on a blog post so that you can visit the shop and see the winners and their work.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I would love to check that too. So, but we have another KAL coming, which we've hinted at or told you about, and it's a Shawl KAL. I keep thinking Shawl Along. Shawl Along.
Why didn't we call it that?
Because I don't know, it didn't go from here to here till now.
That's so fun.
Shawl Along.
Shawl
So we're
Along.
going to have a Shawl Along. Rama ding dong.
There we go.
But you can knit a hap or a shawl, whatever takes your fancy. It can be
knit, it can be crocheted.
Yes.
Yes,
all shawls welcome, and we want to see what you decide on. And it's starting on April 21st for 6 weeks. So we're doing that. And
we are asking you to sign up. So if you can go to the shop now, sign-ups are open for the Shawl KAL, so you can head to the shop and sign up. It's very easy. Yeah. It's free.
Yep. And so that's good. We have a frequently asked questions list of things on the sign up page, so you can check that out. Yep. Get your ducks in a row. We have kits, Maggie. We have hap kits.
Yep, we have hap kits. We're going to be adding very soon some new woolly thistle variant colors if you want to knit the Hansel hap
in different colors.
And we're working on a few other kits, but we do have some kits in the shop.
But so we do ask that you knit, I think 80% with our yarn from the woolly thistle, but you can go stash diving. You don't have to buy anything.
Yeah, purchase at any point in time.
Yes, absolutely. So right here is my Hansel, or one of my Hansels. It's a full Hansel hat. And I love this thing. I've got another one still on the needles. Oh, I should have brought that. Forgot about.
Next time.
But this is knitted, I think, in color 54 with Jamieson and Smith. It knitted from a cone, and it's just so squishy and bouncy feeling. And I love the edging on the Hansel hap. So this is the full hap. So it's actually a big square, like so. Thanks, Maggie. And I probably could have blocked this more aggressively even and made it a wee bit bigger, but I didn't. And this is so squishy. I love wearing it. I actually brought some.
So you knit this back before Gudrun updated the pattern. So now there are 3 sizes in the pattern, and I think that this is probably the small
or the middle.
The smaller.
It's not the large. No. I'm knitting the
large is
now.
really big.
Yes. So so the Hansel hap is a really fun knit for a shawl, and very wearable, very traditional, which I do enjoy. Behind you, Maggie, is Knitography's hap called Forest Path Hap.
Sunshine on the Path Hap.
Sunshine on the Path Hap. That's right. There's another one. In fact, you can check out all hers. We have kits for them.
Yeah.
I loved knitting this. It was all garter stitch. It was it's a long and narrow one with some little lace repeats in it. Very potato chippy, and lots of fun knitting in it. Nice edging put on too. So I think we do have kits.
We are adding a kit for her for another shawl of hers. I thought it might be great for beginners. It's a triangular shawl, but half of it is knit and garter and half of it has a lace motif.
Ooh.
So you'll see kits coming for that soon.
Yeah, and her name is Patricia Fortune, and she is Knitography on the social medias. So, and then I brought some other shawls that I've knit in days gone by. And I have suggestions. So this is a shawl called Nordic Wind that was very popular a few years back. And I knitted this in like brown sheep or something.
Okay.
But this was actually written for Let Lopey.
Oh, was it Let Lopey?
Let Lopey.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I think I wouldn't mind reknitting this because it's just simple but very elegant and easy. Mindless. So, and actually mine's only 3 colors.
That's a great choice if you're a newer shawl knitter.
Yeah. And knitted back and forth, so you will be purling. And mine only has 3 colors, but the original pattern called for 4 shades. I think hers were all gray, but there's many knitted. I knitted this as part of the original knit along for it, which is years and years ago. This beautiful shawl is one of my favorites. This is by Annie Claire, and it's the Isle of Purbeck.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another word. Tales from the Isle of Purbeck, something like that. And it's just got gorgeous lace. And it's knitted at a DK weight. So I think this knitted in TukuWool DK or strict yarn would be scrumptious.
Mm-hmm.
Rauma strict
I
yarn.
have the same shawl.
You do, don't you? What did you knit yours with?
The Hole and Sons.
The Hole and Sons. This goes back in time to the Woolly Thistle's early days when before we started.
That was when I started full on drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I was in it already, and Hole and Sons was this beautiful, very rare yarn from Paul Dorset's, I think, from Benjamin, and he could not keep up, and I think we knitters actually scared him off. Because we're like, yeah, and we wanted it.
It was such beautiful yarn.
It was, and when I started working with his aunt for Isle Yarns, she said, I've got some left. Do you want it? And I was like, yes, please. And we did kits, and it was very, very special. And that was it. That was the very last of it.
Yeah.
Because he
but the pattern is wonderful.
Yes,
it looks more complicated than it I had no trouble knitting it.
That's what I like about it. It's full on lace work and very
and you
textured.
Often describe lace as your Achilles heel.
Yes, but I didn't actually knit this. So this was knitted.
That makes sense.
If it's hard, have someone else do it.
There you go.
You know who knit this? Lori. I'm blanking on her last name right now, but Lori times 5.
Oh yeah, okay.
She knit this and sent it to me because I sent her the kit, and then she knitted it and sent it back.
Nice.
I know, it's lovely, and it's one of my favorites.
If you aren't following Lori times 5 on Instagram,
you should. Beautiful Instagram account. And but I would definitely want to knit this.
Yeah.
Actually, I would make the effort because I think it's really nice.
Yeah,
it's good to hear it's not as hard as it looks.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
Shall I keep going?
Yeah.
These are all good ideas.
I was thinking about this one the other day and I could not remember
What's
the
it
name
called?
of it. Is it the Color Affection?
Yes. Color Affection Shawl.
Is that a Vera Valimaki?
Yes, it is. And I love it. I love it. You start with that solid pink, I think. But if you plan to knit this, it's an oldie but a goodie. You've got to be very careful about that edge because mine is too tight, and I think it cinches it in more than you want. You want this to be much more elastic than it is.
Do you remember what yarn you used?
Yes, this is Blacker Tamar. A very early version of it. It's quite different now, I think. I'm almost wondering, like, the fiber content, was it not a very bouncy wool? So,
like, did it have any long wool in it?
Yeah, Tamar was pretty much all that.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes. So, but you can see there where it's pulling and cinching. And that makes me sad. I just want to take a pair of scissors and cut it and open it up, but I haven't yet.
Don't do that.
I haven't yet, but I'm not scared of scissors.
It just makes it better to fit around your neck.
It does.
It's fine.
So this is the Color Affection by Vera Valimaki.
It's really pretty.
It really is, isn't it? I enjoyed that. Oh, and then, oh my gosh, another Blacker Swan. This was my original Hansel Hap. And
this one looks bigger.
It's probably
was it a heavier weight yarn?
Blocked. So yes, I think this is heavier definitely than Jameson and Smith. This was a Blacker Swan, which is a merino, and I think last time we were talking about pilling.
Yeah.
So I've used this one a lot at home, and it is very pilly, and I think that's because of the softer fibers. You know, that's going to happen. Around the edging, you can see that I've used. I think this was Jameson and Smith mostly, and there's no pilling on that at all.
Yeah.
But there is in the middle there. But still a soft, warm, comfy wrap.
And you could probably, use a wool comb or
of course, I just never have, and then I didn't do it before I brought it in here, and here we are. So yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's
so
beautiful.
Thank you. So I have knit many, many more shawls. When I first started knitting or back to knitting, I think I knit a lot of shawls. Anyone who knew me pretty much got a shawl. I was just knitting them, putting them on Ravelry, and then gifting them, and I was really enjoying that. So there is no shortage of shawl patterns out there. So, you know, if you have a shawl that you've been wanting to knit for a while, now's the time. Knit with us.
If you do need a little inspiration, in our Ravelry group, we've put together a bundle with some shawl designs.
Yes.
There's so many.
Yeah, I know that, you know, if you're not inspired there's plenty more to be looking for.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're going to be knitting yet?
I do not know. I keep going back and forth. I'm tempted by the pressed flower shawl.
Oh, yes.
I know.
That's a commitment.
It is a commitment, especially mosaic. There's just a lot of knitting in that, but I think it'll be very potato chippy.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm not sure what I want. I'm really excited about this in Let Lopi, actually. That would be nice. But that's very, very basic. But I'm really, I don't know. I've got a lot of accessories that are very colorful, color work, blah, blah, blah. And then I like to have some that are more, you know, classic and quieter and that sort of thing. So I'm not decided yet which way I'm going. I think we had talked about me just finishing my other Hansel as well, so I'll dig that out and see where I'm at with that.
Yes, I will admit that generally we would not allow whips as far along as hers, but she is not prize eligible anyway, so.
And if it means it gets it done, it gets it done. That's
there
right.
You go.
That prize in and of itself.
Your prize will be your hat.
So yes, I mean, you could use that to finish your own projects too. Do we know how far we let people knit before they're not prize eligible?
I don't know that we have a set marker. Usually in other KALs we've said like 20% or less on the needles.
Yes.
If you want it to count prize eligible.
Right.
And depending on which KAL it is too, that was usually for sweaters because they're bigger projects.
Yeah.
If it's an accessory, no. It has to be all new.
Yeah, all new.
Because it's such a small project, generally speaking.
So if you want to knit along with us to finish what am I trying to say? A shawl. Then just don't put in for the prizes in the FO thread. You can put you can show us in the whip thread for sure, or you know, what have you. But you've got to sort of remove yourself from the prize drawing.
Yeah. So I think part of it is, you know, if it's just the knitting with community, you're always welcome to knit with our community.
Exactly.
We always are happy to shout and encourage and just support your projects.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just knit along. Yeah. So where are we now?
We need to go to a segment. We have been blathering on.
Oh my God. we have. Jeez. Let's go to Kelsey.
Yes, although
let's
go to Emma.
Let's go to
Emma. She was first on the list, so let's go to Emma and check out her sweater.
We'll see you on the other side.
Hi everyone. It's so nice to be with you again. My name's Emma and I'm coming to you from Baltimore, Maryland, where it's very sunny and like late in the afternoon because of daylight savings, and I'm so excited. I always think I'm gonna really hate daylight savings when we lose an hour, but I actually really like it. Even the morning, I don't mind it. And I am so happy for the daylight. So as you can see, I'm wearing a version of Corinne's new sweater pattern, the Dunrobin sweater. I'm so excited about this. I knitted it in Let Lopi, and it was all just from like a leftover bag that I had. And I had a bunch of a few different colors, like half sweater quantities, like this dark color, which is called Galaxy, which is black, but it has like flecks of magenta and teal. It's kind of amazing. And then I had a bunch of this light gray. So I decided to do stripes with a few other colors. As you can see, it's pretty cropped. There we go. But it just finished drying, and I knitted this really fast. I knitted the body in one day, then I blocked it, then I knitted the sleeves and the turtleneck and the hem, because I had to take out the first hem because it didn't work, all in another day. It was really quick knit. It was really pleasant. You could totally knit this with scraps if you have Aran weight scraps, or you can get 5 different colors of Lopi or however many you want, and knit a scrappy version like mine, kind of, or, you know, do your thing. But I'm really excited about this. I think it's super cozy and very fashionable. So I'm really excited to start wearing it because it's still really cold here, even though it's supposed to be nice out in Maryland in March, but it's nice outside. It's just really cold. So I have a couple things to share with you today. One is my finished Colorwork hat. So last time I shared the colors I was going to use for this hat, and they were not knitted into anything, and now it's a hat. So that's fun. This is just a version of one of Wilma Malcolmson's keps. This is the Katie's Kep crown. I just swapped out the motifs for some that I made up. So that was fun. I like to use graph paper and just draw my own oxos with the same repeat. This is actually this is a 32 stitch repeat. I did change the stitch counts a little bit. And yeah, I just used some scrap Shetland yarn of various 2-ply jumper weight. I used Shetland Spindrift, and actually this chocolatey brown, that's Marie Wallin yarn, the British breeds, that was left over from a selection box from ages ago. But I really like my red pop here. I think that tomato red is a really fun color. I do have a Ravelry project page with this. So if you want to know what colors I use specifically, you can head to that page, which I will make sure to provide the woolly thistlers with so you can find it. One thing that I find that some people will say about these Colorwork caps is that they're not long enough. So recently I made a cap for my grandmother and she really likes it, but she said it wasn't, like, it doesn't cover her ears. And so I have a couple of tricks for you. One is to use Jameson's of Shetland, or Jameson Smith Supreme Jumper Weight, which is a little bit thicker for your background color because it's just gonna lengthen that vertical gauge a tiny little bit to make that come down over the ears. Another thing you can do is to put an extra round in between your motifs. So like I did that here and here. I didn't do it in between the little Pyry here and the bigger oxo, but you could do that too. You could just lengthen the cap by like a little bit in different places to just give yourself that extra ½ inch of length that you want. This one fits really nicely on me. It covers my ears. You know, it's fun. So I think this is a great little cap. I like to do this just to try out random color combinations that I'm not sure will work together. Sometimes they look great and I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I know this so that I can make a garment out of this combination if I want. And sometimes I'm like, no, maybe not. But I tried it and it's just a hat and someone will wear it and that'll be fine. So I like this. I think it's an unexpected combination. Maybe not on my body, but I like it on my head. So that's fun. Another thing that I want to show you guys is that I just finished, it's on the floor. I just finished my Maddie cardigan and I saw that the Woolly Thistle just got new kits for this. You can actually do a pullover version or a cardigan version. Kristen Drysdale is the author of this pattern and she has both now, which is very exciting. This is knitted in Bichet Bouche Le Petit Lamb's wool and I used very light blue and dark gray turquoise to knit this. I'm a big fan. Looks almost like there's a different color here in different dye lots, even though it's just the yoke is backed by the darker color and the sleeve is just knit singly because it's not in Colorwork, and so it looks like it's two different colors. Yeah, so I got these buttons about a year ago at Liberty London in London, and they're blue, so I thought they would go with this sweater. And I think this is really lightweight. It's not too warm, but it's not like, it's wool and spun yarn, so it's gonna trap a lot of nice heat in there, in the air that's trapped in the yarn when it's spun. So I think this is gonna be a great transition piece for spring, especially because of the fun colors and the flowers on the yoke. And I really enjoyed knitting with the yarn. It's a little bit thinner than like a jumper weight yarn from Shetland, but this isn't knitted at a super tight gauge, so it doesn't take too long if you're used to knitting fingering weight sweaters. And if you're not, I would challenge you to do this one because it's really gonna make you think about your float placement and your tacking placement when you're catching your floats so that you're not catching them in the same place every round. I thought that was a really nice creative challenge. And yeah, it became really meditative to knit the flowers after a while. And then of course, most of it's just straight stockinette. And you can really customize the length of it and the length of the sleeves just because it's knitted from the top down and it's a circular yoke. So if you are interested in knitting one of these, I wouldn't hesitate. This is a great piece. I am super thrilled with it. So, and it was a labor of love. I really worked on that stockinette portion for a couple of months to get it done, but I did eventually. And now that it's spring, I'm really glad it's finished. So yeah, there you can see the up close, the blue buttons and I tied them on with, or sewed them on with blue Jagger spun sock yarn, Wilson Falls sock yarn. I'm working on a sock in the Jagger spun Wilson Falls right now, and I'm very excited about that, but I'll show that to you maybe next time. So I'm also working on a Colorwork whip here. I think I might have showed this once before. It's growing. This is my Fair Isle cowl that is my own design, just made up 4 random big bands. There's some stars, there's some oxos, and then there's this stylized piece. I didn't make these up. I actually took these out of a chart book for Fair Isle knitting. I have not woven in any of the ends, but they're on the inside of a cowl. So, you know, I might just tie them into knots and snip them, because you can if you're doing that. So this is all knitted with Jamieson's of Shetland yarn. So I think the Woolly Thistle has Jamieson's of Shetland now back in stock. Again, a variety of colors. So I would definitely recommend trying out that yarn if you like Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight, because it's really similar, but they have different colors. And I find that Jamieson's of Shetland has more nuanced colors, a lot more heathered colors. They have a wider variety of colors, although it's probably impossible to keep all like 200 and something of the colors in stock anywhere, but they have a really wide variety and they're all beautiful. So I would definitely recommend getting a few as a treat, you know, seeing how you like them. They go a long way, you know. If you get a bunch of these, you can make like 25 hats because you hardly use any. So I think that that's a really fun way to collect yarn. I always just collect a few at a time, and then you have a big stash after a year or 2 of this collecting. So always fun. Get your favorite colors, get a few unexpected colors, a grab bag from Jamieson & Smith when the Woolly Thistle sells the grab bags. That's a great way to get some unexpected colors you might not choose for yourself. And I bet a bunch of you have grab bags in your stash because you got some for Black Friday. So I encourage you to knit some fun color work, put some unexpected colors together, and just have a good time. So this will be done eventually. It's a little bit slow going, but the rounds aren't too long because it's a cowl, not a sweater. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough for me. We'll check in about cowl progress in a month. Maybe that will give me a little bit of a boost to knit more on it. Maybe it'll be double that length next time you see me. But I hope everyone's having a great early spring, almost, sort of. And that the weather is starting to turn a little bit nicer wherever you live. Where I live, the trees are already having little buds, and my allergies are going crazy. So I hope that everyone is having a nice early spring too. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
So we hope you enjoyed your time with Emma there. I know I did. And isn't her sweater just...
It is. I previewed her segment yesterday, which was Sunday, and we were having a very low-key day, and I watched Emma, and I felt so perky afterward.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm
did
gonna go look
too.
at my yarn. Go pull this out.
I'm like, look at that. In fact, when she came on, I didn't even, I just didn't know it was the Dunrobin sweater she was wearing until she said it. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I love your stripes, Emma. You did such a nice job. And she was test knitting it. So the Dunrobin is back chugging along. It is being tech edited at this time. And my hope is that we will be able to either narrow down the ones that need to be tested, the sizes that need to be tested again, or I'm not sure yet. We'll see what the tech editor comes up with. But we are moving along, and I hope that you're excited for Dunrobin when it finally gets here. I know I am. So and
we'll keep you up to date, but until it's we want to be sure that it is just right and is reflects the vision that you've had and the fit that you have. And,
and also, did you see her cowl?
I know.
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
She's so talented. And her hat too. Yeah. So yes, keep on-ing. Emma, you're doing a fab job out there, and we love having you on the show. And of other people that we love having on the show, should we bounce right to
I think
Kelsey?
We should. You have waited long enough. So yes, if you want to stay tuned, here is Kelsey.
Hi everybody, Kelsey here. I have 2 things I want to talk about today. One is a sweater that I've been working on in a new to us yarn from Retrosaria, and the other is how I darn my socks. So let's just jump right in. We are getting, here we go, Mungo by Retrosaria Rosa Pomar. It is a 50% wool, 50% cotton blend. It's made with, I believe it's pre-consumer waste generated by Portuguese spinning mills. So this is bits and pieces and fluff and I don't know what else that the mills generate that don't make it into their final product for that first run. They take all those bits and pieces and scraps and fiber and everything else and spin it up into a new yarn, which is then, I believe is then dyed, but I can't tell. Maybe the wool is dyed and then the cotton is blended in because it is quite heathered. Sort of all those whitish bits are the sort of cottony bits and the greenish color is, I assume, is the wool. That would make sense to me because the white part is a cottony part. Yeah, so the recommended gauge on here says 19. They have it on a 4 to 5 millimeter, which is a US 6 to 8. Yeah, and it's great. It's definitely woollier than most cotton yarns, and this is going to sound silly, more cottony than most wool yarns. It's a fairly thick, sort of worstedy weight, which is nice, but it is still cotton, so it has a kind of sweatshirty feel to it, and that brings me to the project that I'm working on. So I am knitting the very V-neck raglan. It's a pattern by Jessie Made. Her name is Jessie May, but Jessie Made with a D Designs. You can get it on Ravelry. The gauge is 20 stitches and 26 rows. So the recommended gauge for here was 19. Here is 20, pretty close. The suggested needle is a 7. I'm actually working it on a 6 because if your yarn is a little bit thicker and you're trying to get a little bit denser of a gauge, it makes sense that your holes in between the yarn strands have to be a little smaller, so your needle should be a little bit smaller. And I swatched and everything and that worked out for me. I like to think of your gauge as being your yarn thickness and your needle thickness with some variation for your tension. So if your yarn thickness is going up, your needle thickness has to go down to then get to the same gauge approximately as a thinner yarn with a thicker needle, if that makes sense. My hand gestures probably don't help, but we're gonna go with it. So this is the green, it's green. I think they only have one green at this point, is color 6, 006. One thing that I do want to note, because it is recycled pre-consumer fiber, the colors do vary from lot to lot. So there's always some variation in dye lots, even in commercial yarns, definitely in hand-dyed yarns like Lichen and Lace or something. But even in our commercial yarns like Rauma or the other Retrosarias, there can be some dye lot differences. But in this case, the base can even be a little bit different. So the fiber underneath the dye can vary because of what they're getting from those mills. And I'll show you why I'm talking about that. So here we are. Dun, 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 dun. Here's my sweater. I've finished this sleeve, most of this sleeve. I added some decreases in the sleeve. The pattern does not have decreases. If you look at this, the picture, the sleeve is fairly straight, even to sort of a flare, just because of how a straight sleeve would sit on a normal arm, and how it's hanging. I decided I wanted to bring that in a little bit, so I added some decreases, which I've marked with those markers so that I can match them from the previous side, so they look the same. So I really love the yarn. I really love the fabric that I'm getting. It's thick but kind of squishy and sweatshirty, as I said before. The pattern is great. I love a V-neck, and this V-neck is pretty deep. It's not one of those V-necks that cuts right here like a crew neck with a point. It's definitely a V-neck, and you can vary it. The pattern gives some instructions on, if you want to end the V-neck up here or if you want to end it down here, and you can also pick up this band so you can make that thicker or thinner to sort of bring in your V or not. So if you can see that, my top of my sweater is a different dye lot. then sort of after the point of that V. I had 2 balls of Mungo that I had bought a few years ago, and then I bought 3 more balls that were clearly a different dye lot and came from had a different base. If you can see, I tried some striping to kind of blend / make that a design feature, which I think has worked. It made it sort of sporty looking, a little bit, not rugby shirt, but kind of, horizontal stripey. And I'm fine with it. I just wanted to point out, if you would not be fine with that, or if you really want a solid sweater, make sure that you order all of the sweater or all of the yarn that you need for your sweater when you start. Because in Mungo, especially because of that variation in the base, it will make possibly more of a difference in the color of your finished sweater. So I just wanted to show that. I am getting about 20 stitches, which is what I was trying to get. And I'm really happy with it. I did add some length to the sweater. It's designed to be a little more cropped than I made it, but I'm also quite tall, so it's still a little bit cropped on me. But with the pattern instructions, it would have been very, very cropped. So, yep, I'm just gonna continue. I'm done with my decreases. I'm gonna keep knitting towards the end here, do the ribbing like I did on this side. I did an Elizabeth Zimmerman sewn bind off, which I really like for sort of a stretchy cuff that's not too stretchy. And we're gonna go from there. So I'm a big fan of this yarn. It's definitely cooler than a full like worsted weight wool, but it's certainly not a fingering weight. It's certainly not a linen. It's not like cool. Some other patterns that I looked at to use this yarn for include the Nook, N-U-U-K sweater. It's sort of a short sleeve sweater. And then I actually was thinking it would be possible, maybe, if you liked the fabric you got at 20, you could knit a vanilla sweater. It would be a different fabric. It would be less drapey than the original Finnel Garn, but you could absolutely do it because this does knit fairly nicely at 20 stitches, which is the pattern gauge for the vanilla. Or the vanilla fluff is either 18 or 19 stitches, and that's exactly what the recommended is for the yarn. So you could absolutely use that pattern instead of the original vanilla to knit sort of a summer version of this. Of using this, not this. Of using this. Great, so that's all I had to say about this pattern and this project and this yarn. I'm very happy about it, and we'll see how, when I finish it and block it, how I like it. But I do want to go over and show you how I darn my socks. So I'll meet you there in a second. So I just wanted to come in and talk a little bit about some mending techniques for socks in particular. So you can see this is a sock. I've probably had it for 5 or 6 years at this point, so I definitely had a hole. So if you can see through what I've already done, there's a hole underneath. And I just sort of skipped ahead to, not have you watching me do this for 20 minutes. But all I've done so far, this is how I tend to fix holes in socks. There are a lot of other ways to do it. There's something called Swiss darning that's a little bit more like a duplicate stitch, but this is a pretty big hole, so this is what I decided to do. So what I've done so far is you can see a few yarn tails because I didn't estimate enough how much yarn I needed. And I started here and wove through, you can see kind of over, under through those rows, and then had a big long float across and did the same on the other side. And something important is, number one, this first string is actually outside of the hole. So if you look kind of through there, the hole is there. It's not there. So it does overlap the hole a bit. And I did continue on a little bit farther into the sock. So it's not right where the hole ends that I'm ending this darning. Because what you're trying to do is anchor your darning into some yarn and strands that are a little bit stronger than the ones that are right here. Honestly, this sock is thinning a little bit here as well, so I could have gone even farther. But for demonstration purposes, I just wanted to show it like this. I guess I should back up first of all, actually, and show you. I'm sorry for the sniffing, a little bit of a cold. This is a darning mushroom. There are other things called darning eggs, but what you're really looking for is this smooth, rounded surface, because if you're trying to do, here, I'll put that there. If you're trying to do this kind of thing on a sock, that's sort of not over anything. It's really kind of floppy, and I mean, it's fabric, so it's hard to see kind of what you're doing. You also don't really want it to be on a totally flat surface because this part of your heel is not going to be totally flat, so you don't want it to be really stretched. So just putting that back in. So what I tend to do is use my non-dominant hand, so my left hand, and use it to stretch, not tight stretch, but just make it taut over the mushroom with my left hand. Some people will use like a hair elastic or another rubber band to hold it like this, but I find that this works well and I can adjust it a little more easily by just letting go of my hand. So I'm just going to show you how I go the other way. So this is, clearly that's not a patch, that's just some strings. What you're really doing is you're weaving. And this is just some scrap yarn that I have. And what you're doing is you're doing sort of an anchored weaving, and I don't know if that's a term or not, but that's how I think of it, is you're anchoring your weaving over into these sort of good stitches, like healthy parts of the sock, and weaving it across. So as I did with the side, I'm going to start above where the hole is. So again, the hole starts sort of here. I'm going to go up here. So what I'm doing is weaving, and this is absolutely not an exact science, so kind of picking up a leg, picking up a stitch, skipping one, skipping two, and I'm actually going to cross a few that I wove the other way. I sort of picked up through the other way to sort of get that crisscross bit of strength. I'm going to pull it through by a bit, skip across a few of these, and just start not going into the fabric, but going into, maybe I caught the fabric, but going in and over under the yarn that I used to darn. And then I'm going to duck back into the fabric and keep going this way for a little bit. And these absolutely don't have to line up at the end, and I actually would recommend that they don't, so like you don't stop at exactly the same point on this side, because that's what's going to do is you're going to have this one line that ends up pulling and separating that stitch, which can end up being a weak spot. So if you see over here, maybe it looks a little bit messy, but that's actually intentional. And this is a little tail. That's sort of hanging out, and I'll weave that in. So like this one's a little farther out, this one's a little farther in, and so it makes it so it's not a straight across one row. So I'm pulling that across. I actually tend to turn it when I'm doing the weaving part. I didn't for this way, but I do for the other way. So again, just sort of picking up a few here. In and out and in and out. Oh, got a whole stitch, that's okay. And then I tend to start looking at what did I over under on the previous, to start trying to, like I didn't catch, oops, this one. Trying to make it a little bit more of a balanced, what do you think of if you're a weaver as plain weave, you know, over, under. If you're not a weaver, you may have done it in art class in elementary school or middle school or, you know, something like that. Or even just weaving a placemat or whatever it might be. So I'm going to pull it through and then catch a few more of these on this side. I'm going to go just a few farther like that. Okay. And any of these tails that kind of get folded in, not folded in, it doesn't really make a difference. If you're very concerned about the appearance, you can try to, you know, have more of a plan than I do, but I tend to find that the sort of more uneven, the stronger it becomes, which is a little counterintuitive, but and so what you're trying to do is trying to match more or less the spacing of the what I would think of as a warp. So the string's going the opposite direction. So now I'm going opposite what it was the row above, over under, more or less. I still haven't sort of really established a good pattern. There are also tools for this, so they're often called mini looms or something similar that do some of this over-undering for you. they have like a series of hooks that will do that. They're kind of cool. So again, skipping those first 2 or so because I don't really want to be anchoring it to the loose parts like next to the hole. And I just split the yarn, but I actually don't care because that again actually does make it stronger if you have sort of uneven bits and pieces here and there. Again, have a tail. So I'm going to turn it back. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Picking up a few bits. Here we go. This is where some of the tension probably could have been a little tighter going the other way so that these strings that I'm trying to pick up and go around are a little bit tighter, but that's fine. And obviously this is a bit more of a visible mending technique. You can do the technique that I'm doing with a more color matched yarn, or you can weave the little patch separately so it's a bit more even and a bit more predictable than sort of mine is turning out to be. But that is all personal preference. And I figure this is on the heel of my foot. So literally the only person who's ever going to see it is me, or I guess my family if I'm at home with my socks off or my shoes off. So this same technique will work really well if you have like a little hole in a sweater, in the hand of a mitten. It doesn't work quite as well on the edges of things. It's a little bit more difficult to try to do something like this. Like the cuff, like if your cuff sort of wears out, like your bind off edge. So I don't want to hold you here for too much longer, but that's more or less what you're going through. Mine's not quite balanced because I've sort of had more strings going one way than I have going the other way, but that's the idea. So at the end, you'll end up with this sort of woven patch in the middle with these little speckly bits kind of all around where your yarn kind of went over, under, with a solid patch of that new yarn in the middle. So I just wanted to share how I darn my socks.
Thank you, Kelsey. I loved watching your darning. That's really, looks really good. And your sweater in Mungo. Yes.
That is going to be cozy.
And we have some here.
We do. So I've got a big basket full of Mungo.
Yeah, it's been selling really well.
It has been selling really well. We have kits in the shop or yarn sets available for Hohi Locatelli's super simple summer sweater.
Nicely
which
done.
I think Caitlin was wearing in our previous episode 191.
Yeah.
And it just looks really cozy.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 wool cotton blend.
Yes.
Which I think will make it easier to knit with. I find cotton, I can crochet with cotton, no bother, but knitting with it will hurt my hands. But I think being a 50-50, it just, having that wool in there gives it a little bit of spring.
Yeah.
Which
I'll
is
find
nice.
some, Grady did some swatching for us in both knit and crochet. I cannot find them at the moment, so I will bring them next time and show you.
Sure.
They feel really sweatshirty. I think that is a good.
She said that, and I thought, yep, that's exactly right. So it's going to be something that you wear, and it will get better with time too, I think, with the cotton sort of easing in.
Yeah, and it does feel kind of crisp in the skin,
But it feels like Retrosaria. I feel like all of her yarns have a certain feel. It must be the sheep,
But the washed swatches did feel a little more sweatshirty. Like you could feel the wool and the cotton really coming together. And
really good colors too.
yes,
Look at these.
just a wonderful line of colors.
Yeah. So lovely for summer. I like the sweatshirt that
summer, or even if just you live in a warmer climate.
Yeah, of course.
I think in those in between seasons, this feels like a good spring fall.
Yeah.
Yarn.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks, Kelsey, for that.
With this latest restock of Retrosaria, not only did we bring in Mungo, but we brought in the new Brusca colors. I think I pulled all of them. No guarantees. They have a lot of new colors.
Wow, really nice palette, isn't it? Very cohesive.
It really is.
Ooh, so the Brusca is their DK way. Some gorgeous new colors. I feel like the whole collection is very cohesive. She's hugging.
I love their labels.
Yeah, I know. They're really
Who
good.
doesn't,
I know.
So this one's B581.
No joke, you like that color.
I do.
That's in your hat.
I know.
And this is A582, which is a nice bright orange, brick orange.
B577, which is a nice taupey brown.
Yeah. A583. I like this one.
I know, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
This one is C570, and I just like a little, that's tealy, right?
Sure.
Tealy green. It's like a heathered.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. I like this
Mm-hmm.
brand, C582.
And this green is so good. This is C574. Oh no, hold that. There you go. And then put a cream with it. There you go.
There you go. Oh my gosh. Perfect. The cream is A576.
Yeah.
It's a very
That's beautiful.
yellowy cream, actually. Keep going.
So
Ooh, I
good.
like this one.
That is pretty. This blue is B570.
C580. It's kind of a gold. Very
And
heathered.
then this one's a lighter. It's B575.
I like that. It's a taupe.
It is a taupe.
Did you show this
Yeah.
one?
I don't remember if I showed that one. So you can see the B575 up against B577.
Nice.
Very nice.
I like this color. 568. Sorry, A568. Nice blue.
Yeah. Are you gonna hold them off?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't know if I can grab one more.
I like that. That's
I
such
know,
a nice,
right?
cool
There
palette.
you go.
And there they are together.
There we go.
Really nice. Really
Yep.
nice.
So, and these are in the shop now.
Yep. Briska.
So good.
So DK weight yarn, that would be good for the Isle of Purbeck as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you were looking for a DK weight to knit with.
I almost wonder the pressed flowers. I'm trying to
Oh
remember
my
what
gosh.
weight.
Yeah.
That would be so pretty.
It's got a pebbly
Oh.
feel to it. It really would, wouldn't it? That would be nice.
Okay.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Maggie, what else do we have going on in the shop here?
Well, today is blanket day.
Blanket day!
Blanket day.
It's time. We're back again, which is just phenomenal.
Blankets go live at noon.
Yes. These are the blankets. This is one of the blankets. We've got about 10, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They were custom made for us, for you. And so these are made in Ireland by Irish people. Studio Donegal. There we go.
Very
Love-
talented Irish people.
Yes, these are hand woven
Mhm.
with machine assisted hand
Yeah,
woven.
I mean, we have some video from them, and they are literally throwing the shuttle back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, it is hand woven.
These things are quite weighty, you know,
Mhm.
quite heavy.
Yeah.
They cover the top of my king size bed, but it doesn't hang down. So it's a good size, definitely a lap blanket. I'm planning to buy mine today. But I haven't decided yet. These are just 3 that we have here. They're so soft.
They really are.
And look at
Yeah.
the
They are
the weave.
they're best kind of woolly. Like, they're really soft and cozy and very woolly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really nice for throwing over a nice chair or the couch or what
Yeah.
have you.
Can we do, I want to show the twisted fringe.
Yeah.
Because we often don't like show that, but it is beautifully
Yeah.
twisted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
so
special
good.
process that they do right at the
Mhm.
end.
Yeah.
For
They
sure.
go to the finishers.
Do you know I'm going to be doing a week-long course at Harrisville Design?
You mentioned that. That is so fun.
Yes, it's coming up in a couple of months, so I'm kind of excited. I'm going with my very good friend Amber, who you old timers will remember. I always talked about Amber, so we're going to go and do that together. I
Nice.
can't wait.
Do you know what kind of like machine you'll be weaving on?
It's a on the floor one. That's all I
It's a
know.
floor loom?
It's a
Okay.
floor loom, yeah. So it's 5 days of learning.
Nice.
Yes, my brain will hurt, no
Mhm.
doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited. I still am having a lot of trouble with my thumbs, which slows my knitting down, which is very sad. But if I could maybe get into
Yeah.
some of the other things, and weaving is definitely a fascination I have. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And then just one more here that we have in the shop back here for you to see. This is an undulating kind of pattern. And I think we have this both in this greeny teal and a very bright fuchsia pink, which is gorgeous.
Really beautiful.
So these go on sale today, Maggie?
They go on sale today at noon. Noon
Well,
Eastern Standard Time.
Get yours. You can do your holiday shopping early. Get them while they're here, maybe. Yes,
Yeah.
these will go pretty fast, I believe. So
Yeah.
be sure to jump in if that's of interest to you. They are beautiful, and I think they're worth every single penny, and that they will last for a long time.
These are definitely heirloom quality.
Yeah. What else do we have? Oh, you know what we have to do? We have to say thank you for all your orders of Rambler, which has been lovely. Lovely to see. Thank you for that. Rambler came in, was it Friday?
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago when you see this.
No, 1 week ago.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
It went live in the shop. That's why we had a fun, super special bonus episode.
That's right. So yes, thank you. And we've seen a lot of Ginny's.
Yes, Virginia's Moongate sock kits.
Lots of kits going out with that, which is just excellent. And thank you too if you ordered the Agatha sock kit and or course.
Yes, we are big fans of Virginia's around here, and these are absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
She does hold Rambler double on these, and our
it feels
kits
so good.
Our kits have 3 skeins, which should be enough for you to actually make 2 pairs of socks,
which is lovely. Yeah.
And then just for posterity, this is the other design that Virginia has in. I'll be sending these socks back to her, but this is her "If You Go Out" sock,
which we love.
So pretty.
She designed them and called them "If You Go Out."
I love it.
Yes. So yeah, very excited. Thank you for supporting our very own yarn. It's quite an undertaking and very exciting, and we're so glad that you're liking it. I'll need to be thinking about another pair of socks to cast on.
Other thing that rolled out with Rambler was the Agatha course. So thank you to everybody who picked up the Agatha course and the new Agatha kits.
Yes.
Featuring Rambler.
I hope you're enjoying it, and that it's helpful to you to get, because there is a little bit of intricate stuff in the Agathas, but nothing that is nothing insurmountable for sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt to have a helpful.
We say that they're for advanced beginners, and that's probably the skill level I was at when I knit my Agathas.
Okay.
And I successfully knit my
There you
Agathas.
go. Without a course even.
Without a course.
You can do it for sure. People have done it for years.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, good.
So Marie Wallin's latest book, Westmoreland, is now available in the shop, and we've been waiting with bated breath for her restock of her gorgeous yarn that she has spun at Dunrobin Mill.
Yes.
And we have received word that our order has been placed and it is on its way.
Yes. The order's been placed for a very long time, as it happens.
Yes.
But it's on its way.
It is in transit.
As we record.
As we record.
So we fully expect it to have arrived by the time you're watching this.
Yes. So we are going to be working on putting kits together. Yeah.
So definitely include that in your planning. I know many of you have been waiting for this to land. So have we, but unavoidable delays happen, and unfortunately that's what this launch had, and same for Marie too. She was waiting at the mill as well, and it was all unavoidable. So we're excited. It's going to be here.
And if you've already purchased your copy of Westmoreland, we plan on having kits for all of the Colorwork designs in there. I believe there are 8.
Right, exactly. So check out the shop. We'll put a link down below, and get your ducks in a row for sure. Yeah, that's exciting.
That is exciting.
Yes, for sure.
Here we go. We're just talking at the same time.
I know. Again.
That's okay. The other thing I wanted to show actually is the Manchalope there.
Yes.
So we are thrilled to have kits for yarn sets for Jessica McDonald's new Winter Woods pattern.
Yes. It's such a lovely sweater.
I think I have a photo of like right there, if we want to show it. It's
Isn't it
absolutely
gorgeous?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Jessica was happy to also, she's one of our featured designers. We have a blog post where she's answered some questions. You can learn a little bit about more.
Check out our blog.
And her design process on the blog. So pick up your kit. This is just one of the colors.
This one's doing really well. I've noticed that yes, but there's a pink one, and then of course in the design the brown with cream.
Yeah.
So go check it out. This is it's such an interesting yarn.
It really is.
Wool. It's unspun. But then once you've knitted with it, it's really strong, very lightweight.
So I don't know if we said what this is. This is Wool Dreamer's Manchalope.
Sorry.
And it is an unspun yarn made from Spanish merino, the Manchega sheep. I think that's why it is Manchalope.
Yeah.
Manchega, and it actually comes off the cake in a double strand.
Yeah.
And you just unwind it.
You unwind it.
I recommend unwinding from the outside.
Yes.
I think that will make your process. I know some people have said that they successfully knit from the inside.
I wouldn't.
You can do whatever works for you, but I think that the whole process is smoother if you pull from the outside. So.
And there's some beautiful veg matter, which I always enjoy pointing out because that's all the way from Spain.
I know.
Yes. And yes, and you will break this yarn because it's unspun, but then you just overlap them.
And I do think that unwinding from the outside of the cake will reduce the number of times that you're accidentally breaking the yarn.
Or
it's
unless
not
you
a
pull
big
too
deal
hard.
if you do.
It's really not a big deal. It's
Once
not.
you sort of break that habit of tugging.
Yes. It actually makes you slow down and be a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more intentional. You're unwinding. Yeah. However, if you're like me, you're going to be putting bits back together again.
Yeah, and that's okay.
It's totally fine. Yes, so very similar to Plotolopi by Istex that we've stocked for a long time.
Similar in structure, but very different in feel.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So happy to have these.
If you find, I love both of them. I love Plotolopi. They're different.
They're different. And interesting to knit with, and they result in a very lightweight, fluffy, strong garment or whatever. Yeah. Talking of which, the Ito shawl we restocked, which is a Plotolopi 6-plate designed by B Mandarins, our friend Melody. And so those went in, and I was seeing that they were that shawl. Oh, because you had it on last time.
I had it last time, so if you want to see it, you can pop over to the bonus episode 192.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, so thank you for shopping and stocking up on that.
I was glad I had pulled it out of the closet because I basically wore it all week at home. I was just around the house.
Yeah. It's so lovely cozy. Though. It's lovely. It's really,
and it
really
really
nice.
has just gotten better with time.
Yeah.
It just softens up and it's just wonderful.
I just saw this shawl here. One more shawl. This your lovely sister knit this one.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
That is another Kate Davies.
I can't find the top.
That's the top.
Okay.
It was from her Habit book, which is no longer available. But you can get the pattern as a download. Yeah. We're gonna have to put the pattern in there. It is just escaping my mind. I don't remember the name of the pattern, but it's knit with Jagger spun heathers.
Yes.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Another little lacy shawl. It was definitely a hap. It had a hap in the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and we blocked it quite aggressively.
Yeah.
And it's just
so the Jagger spun heathers is a really great yarn.
I can feel the name kicking around in my head and it's just gone.
We'll put it there.
Yeah.
But your misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty.
It's lovely. And really good yarn for shawls because it's got that drape.
Yeah.
Worsted spun. Yes. Very lovely.
Absolutely beautiful.
Hi Marie, how are you?
She's actually knitting on a super simple summer sweater for us right now.
Yay! Yes, that's right. So that we have it to show you.
Yeah.
Fantastical.
And for when we have our showroom space available, we'll have some samples that aren't just from your closet.
Yes. And I will have clothes to wear.
Yay! Win-win.
Yeah, so we are right now getting some quotes for doing some work in the front. It looks so empty out there down there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we hope to fill it up with a showroom so that you can come and see what we have here at the Woolly Thistle.
Things take time.
Mm-hmm. So. They do. We're going to do it right like we do. So yeah, that's coming. What else, Maggie?
The other things that we've got Fair 8, which is here. We can put a photo up. It is live in the shop now. And you can go get your copy of Fair 8. That's a wonderful magazine.
Yeah, I love that
all
magazine.
All about the creative life.
Yeah, and it's not just knitting. It's a little broader than that, but just, I don't know. What a lovely life. Yes.
The other thing, here, would you mind holding those? This is still on pre-order. It launches on the 31st, I believe, but 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2 has arrived. So we will be shipping these out as soon as they release or in time for release date.
Just lovely hardback, as they do.
So good.
Yes, so all these designs in here you can knit with your Rambler sock yarn.
Yes. Trying to find ones where I don't reveal pattern.
Yeah.
Just wonderful.
I like that one.
I like that
a little
one.
thicker.
It does have mohair in it. It does. That's fun.
Yeah.
Those would feel dreamy.
I know that some people knitted their whole way through. Oh, look at that with
That's
beads.
fun. With beads and a little ruffle.
Some people have knit their whole way through the first book. I wonder if they're going to knit their way through the second book.
That would be amazing.
Some
I like
slippers.
these slippers.
Which is great. Who
Yeah.
designed those?
These are Elena Solier Jansa.
Okay,
I
very
don't know if
nice.
I said that right.
So that is on pre-order
Some
now.
Colorwork socks
Love that.
in here. So lots of patterns. 52.
Yep. So good they had to do it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. What else do we want to show? We do have Pom Pom Quarterly in. We'll have a picture there. That is in the shop, ready to ship to you as soon as you order. And I think that's it, Maggie.
I think that is it. We have one more winner to call.
Oh, let's do that.
And our second winner today is Karen Davies.
Congratulations, Karen.
Karen says, yay, a shawl and hat KAL to look forward to, and yay for the love and support for Rachel with Happy Sheep sponsoring at Barkland Croft. Lovely projects and yarns to look at. What's not to love?
Absolutely.
So Karen, if you can email us at info@thewoollythistle, put prize winner in all caps, we will get your $25 gift card.
Yep. And if you want to be in the running for a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle, just leave us a comment below, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. You can do all that down there. And and I think be sure to join our email list if you're not already on it. Make sure you put 2 L's in woollythistle.com when you go to sign up with us. That would be great. Well, Maggie, I think all that's left to do now is to thread our spines with Kim, and I hope that you do some wonderful yoga with Kim. We do have a playlist of just Kim's videos, don't we? So if you ever just want to find a video from Kim of her different body areas that she's working on, you can find that in the playlist on YouTube inside the Woolly Thistle channel. So Maggie, I think all that's left to say is if you go out,
take your knitting.
Bye.
Hello, Woolly Thistlers. Kim here, your resident yoga teacher. I am a yoga teacher and a knitter based in Central Alberta, and I make these little segments for the Woolly Thistle podcast as a way to help you work through those aches and pains and become a better knitter. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as Turning Ground Yoga. Let's get started with today's class. Today's yoga class is all about the nerves. Nerves run through our entire body. Some would argue that the 72,000 nadis, or energy channels, that they teach about in yoga are actually 72,000 nerves along which your life force runs. Whether you subscribe to Western medicine or Eastern ideas, the fact is we have nerves, and sometimes they don't feel very good. Sometimes they don't work quite right. Now, when I use the word impingement, I'm working along a great big scale. Impingement here, where you need to see the doctor, have surgery, it's painful, you can't walk, we're not going to deal with that. That's something we're going to leave to the specialists. But when we go to the other side of the scale, and we look at impingement as something that might be caused by inflammation, a bone spur, or tight muscles, that is something that we can nurture and take care of through our yoga practice. So our nerves do have a small amount of stretch, and when you do a traditional cat-cow, you're going to be stretching them slightly in one direction or another, and that's a good thing. We do a lot of cat-cow when we warm up in yoga class. But the way the nerves are created, they're designed to move, to slide like this. And so today we're going to do something called nerve flossing. That's right, flossing. It's just like when you have that piece of string and you're getting that food out from between your teeth. Nerve flossing will do a few wonderful things for our bodies. The first is that it increases nourishment to the nerve, because the nerve is this big part of our body and it cannot live in isolation. It needs blood flow and it needs waste removal and needs nourishment from our blood and oxygen to be healthy, to work properly. And so nerve flossing can increase blood flow and nourishment to the body. There's also some evidence, and the studies are still out there, and they're doing them, about the fact that if a nerve is healthy and mobile, it can actually release enzymes or something else, release something that actually decreases inflammation. And that's pretty amazing. It can get rid of things that are in its way. So that's a very broad term, but that's what the research is pointing to. So anyway, everything is telling us that nerve flossing is a good thing. And it's a good thing for you knitters too. I'll show you how to do it. Come on into all fours. Okay. So we're going to set up for a minute first with our knees right under our hips and our wrists right under our shoulders. And you're going to press the pads of your fingers into the mat so that the mounds of your palms spring up, and then we're grounded and we're ready. We're going to move the spine in through cat-cow, traditional movements, because it's a great warm-up and it feels really good. So inhaling, we're going to come into cow. So open the heart, roll the shoulders back, lift the face, arch the back, and tilt the hips up. And then you're going to tuck the hips, round the back, tuck the chin, and pull the belly button up toward the spine. Inhaling to cow, and exhaling to cat. Working through any tightness. As Jason Crandall says, knocking the rust off. I like to think we're blowing away the cobwebs, but any way you want to visualize it is good for you. We're just making ourselves feel good in our bodies. Remembering that our bodies like to move this way and that this is perfectly natural. We just kind of forget to practice every now and then. So you can go fast, you know, inhale, exhale, or you can go really slow. As long as nothing's hurting, then you're good. Be intuitive and listen to your body. Good, now come back to stillness just for a moment. We're going to start to move a little bit more with this cat-cow movement. So start with your cow. Inhaling here, we're going to move a little bit past our hands, not for long. And then tuck the tail, go through your cat, exhale, and pull the hips back. How far back you get is irrelevant. We just want to get into that motion. Maybe scoot those hands a little bit further forward. Inhale, cow a little bit further. And then exhale, cat. Now this should feel fairly natural. We're still moving through our traditional cat-cow, just in a little bit more dynamic way. And you may not get as deep into your back bend here in cow, but that's okay. Just move through those two positions and use your breath. Exhaling back, inhaling forward, exhaling back, inhaling forward. Let's do one more. Inhale forward. Now, I want you to come into your cat, and stay in cat as you pull back. Oh, that feels weird. You're not going to keep a big curve in your back, but it'll be kind of a natural feeling. Then, tuck the tailbone, go through your cat, and come forward. Cow comes back. Now we're flossing. Cat comes forward. Cow moves back. Takes a lot of thinking. Cat moves forward. So maybe guide each movement with your tailbone. Lift it up. Pull back. Tuck it under. Round forward. Lift it up. Pull back. Tuck it down, pull forward, and then close your eyes as you continue to move And visualize that nerve all the way down your spine is moving up and down, flossing itself through the spinal column. Use your abdominal muscles. Everything is abs. Last one. And we're done. So come to a seated position. And just for a moment, notice how you feel. Close your eyes. And bring all of your awareness to your spine, starting from the tailbone, wrapping through the sacrum, chugging through the lumbar, up along the ribs through the thoracic, and then all the way into the neck with the cervical spine. How does it feel? And then move your awareness out from your spine, down your shoulders to your hands, down your legs to your feet, across the belly, through the chest and up into the head. I like to think it's kind of like tuning an instrument. You know, you got a string, it's out of tune, doesn't feel right, doesn't sound right, so you just adjust the peg, pluck, pluck the string until it sounds melodious, mellifluous, harmonious. That's what we just did for our bodies. So I hope that you have a wonderful, comfortable, mellifluous day. Thank you so much for watching. You can always find me on YouTube, of course, if you're watching here. I also have my own channel, Turning Ground Yoga. You can find me on Instagram and you can find me on Facebook. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful month. We'll see you next time. Namaste.